We have just a couple of weeks to go until we find out what the Las Vegas Raiders are going to do in the 2025 NFL Draft. It's pretty hard to tell now because they set themselves up in free agency not to be overly desperate for one particular position. They're set on defense despite all their losses in free agency. The Raiders did a good job replacing those losses with players with similar skill sets. They got a little more physical in the process too. They could probably use a corner though. On offense, they traded for quarterback Geno Smith, an underrated move to address the quarterback position. They seem to feel like they have the offensive line that need to be functional with the addition of guard Alex Capa. They could probably use another guard though, but the Raiders have set themselves up to pick the best players on the board. You guys have heard me all offseason on this one. Running back Ashton Jeanty is the pick here, period. It would be just like the Raiders picking Brock Bowers last year. The Raiders were going to go to a base personnel of 12 personnel or double tights on offense, and they needed another tight end. Michael Mayer was the true tight end, so they needed an H-back or move tight end that's more of a pass catcher, and Brock Bowers was that and then some. He was the best player available that happened to be in need, and it's working out. Jeanty's going to be the best player available in the Raiders pick at number 6 overall this year. He's the best player in this draft, period, but that's for another discussion. Head coach Pete Carroll's been preaching about running the ball and playing defense all offseason, so the smart thing to do is put your value where your philosophy is. If you plan on running the ball a lot, you should invest a high pick in who you're giving the ball to. Jeanty's a generational prospect like Bowers was last year. Good pass-catching tight ends benefit the most from play action, especially when the linebackers covering them. And once Bowers gets the step, that's it. For a while now, all the Raider beat writers, particularly Hondo Carpenter, have been talking about how much the Raiders love Greg Zabel. I believe it because he's right there along the lines of Kappa. They're both 6'6", 312 pounds with 32-inch long arms. Both of them have shown they excel at pass blocking and run blocking too. They both took advantage of their respective opportunities to go against top college competition during Senior Bowl week when they were coming up. Another thing they have in common is their position versatility. They're both versatile enough to play multiple positions along the offensive line. Every GM likes for their offensive linemen to be versatile, and John Spytek is no exception. There are only so many roster spots, so versatility is key here. In 2022, Zabel started 1 game at left guard and 5 games at right tackle. In 2023, he started 3 games at left guard and 12 at right tackle. Then in 2024, he was an FCS All-American at left tackle. Those 32-inch long arms are a little short though, so he's expected to move to guard in the NFL just like Kappa did. In round 3, the Raiders get a quarterback they can develop behind Smith. Quinn Ewers went from a top 10 quarterback in this class to overrated to a 4th round pick to underrated and projected to go in the 3rd round. Well, I'll tell you what, I think he's a good guy to develop behind Smith. At 6'2", 215 pounds, Ewers is a pocket passer but has some elusiveness and can scramble a little bit. There's no 40 time on him right now, but he's fast enough. He has the big arm accuracy and the ability to throw the ball from different platforms and arm angles too. The big problem with Ewers is consistency, where he was really hindered by that torn oblique last year. All of a sudden, media scouts were giving him credit for his mental toughness for that and playing in front of Arch Manning. Nothing's ever going to be good enough when you're playing in front of the next great Manning at quarterback. The scouting media likes the way he handled it and came back from his benching too. All in all, Ewers has some things to clean up, but throwing with the torn oblique is tough. His arm talent and ability to lead a pro-style offense are definitely pluses though. I still like Trey Tucker, but the Raiders need another speed demon / vertical threat. When you have a tight end like Brock Bowers, you should put as much speed as you can around him. That's why Travis Kelce was so successful when he had Tyreek Hill and all those guys around him. Dante Thornton to me would be a good addition of speed to the Raiders here in round 4. The guy is 6'5", 205 pounds and ran a 4.30 40 at the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine. I'm disappointed in his 33-inch vertical leap, but he's 6'5", so he's already up there. Thornton's 26 catches for 661 yards and 6 touchdowns might not sound like much, but his average of 25.4 yards per catch should get your attention. He's a big play waiting to happen. Opposing safeties would have to steal over the top of Tucker and Thornton, so Bowers would have one-on-one coverage underneath along with receiver Jacoby Myers. He would also help keep opposing safeties out of the box so the Raiders can get Jeanty in the running game going. This offense will be hard to stop because you have to make choices. Stopping one thing means you're giving something else up. In round 5, the Raiders get themselves a corner. Some of you wanted to get a corner earlier, but Eric Stokes will be just fine on the other side of Jacorian Bennett. So the Raiders get their big corner right here in the 5th round, and B.J. Adams of Central Florida is that guy. Adams is 6'2", 190 pounds, and has 31 3/4 inch long arms, just like Carroll likes them. He uses that size and those long arms to reroute receivers and make it hard for them to get off the line of scrimmage. One of the knocks on Adams is his average athleticism. His 4.35 40 and 32.5-inch vertical leap are very average, which is probably why he's projected to go in the 5th round. He is known to be agile or to have the best footwork. Adams doesn't have the most fluid hips either. As a matter of fact, they're tight. In the NFL, his best bet is to stay latched on or to keep his hands on opposing receivers. Who does that remind you of? I'm not saying he's going to be that good, but it reminds me of Richard Sherman. Sherman won the 5th round too. Carroll definitely has the type, and Adams fits the bill. In the 6th round, the Raiders have 3 picks, and with their first one, I have them taking Jimmy Horn Jr. He's only 5'8" and weighs 174 pounds, but he has blazing speed. He ran a 4.46 40 at the combine and a 4.35 at his pro day. His tape says 4.35 is his speed, and he has the versatility to play in the slot and outside. If you've been paying attention, you know Jim John Spytek has this type of guard. Kappa is his prototype, and Zabel was his follow-up in the 2nd round. Tate Ratledge also fits that 6'6", around 312 pounds with arms a little over 32 inches long category. He can come in and give the Raiders some depth at the position, and he just might compete for a spot. I honestly believe the Raiders have effectively replaced the linebackers they lost in free agency, but that linebacker core can use some more depth. I'd say they need some guys at the position that can cover at that. Ismael Mondon is a good candidate here. He can blitz and cover in man and zone with his speed. He just needs to be a little more consistent against the run. The Raiders let Leki Fotu come over and take over the space-eating nose tackle duties in free agency, but more are needed. The NFL is a 100% injury league, so you have to have more than one of everything. It would be a good thing to have a young guy developing behind Fotu anyway. The guy I see for the job is Nasir Stackhouse. Georgia has had nothing but the best of interior defensive linemen for years, and Stackhouse was a 3-year starter with them. He's not going to get penetration very often or make a ton of splash plays because he doesn't have a quick get-off. He's just going to eat space. That's why he's a 2-down defensive lineman that doesn't offer you much in the passing game as a pass rusher. However, at 6'4", 327 pounds, he's a one-man walking anchor that you're not going to move off the ball very often. He's too big and too strong for that. As a matter of fact, there's a good chance that you're going to be the one that goes backwards. He has very powerful hands that jolt you back as soon as he puts them on you. Then from there, it's easy work. He already has control of you. He's going to start out behind Fotu though. Well, there it is. That was my first mock draft of this offseason. You guys knew Genty was going to be the 1st round pick as soon as you saw I was doing the mock draft here. Zabel is what Spytek likes at guard. He likes tackles with short arms. I've been hearing how much they love him too. I've been hearing how much they love Ewers lately too. Thornton's a height, weight, and speed freak I'd love to see playing receiver for the Raiders. And Adams, he seems a lot like a corner Carroll would want to have. This is my first one this year. I think it's pretty solid though. Come on with your mock draft in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you next time.